All right, folks, check this out. Donald Trump and his White House are in full-blown panic mode right now because the clip on your screen went insanely viral overnight. They were so furious about this video that they actually responded on Twitter already with some expletives. So I'm going to show you their response and more in just a moment. But to give you some context, Donald Trump right now is in Asia. He's visiting different countries and different leaders. And currently, he's in Japan. So last night, the Japanese prime minister held a ceremony for him where the U.S. delegation was there, Japanese leaders were there, there was a military band, a presentation of the Japanese self-defense force, and more. And it appeared that the Japanese leader, the prime minister, wanted to go around the room so they could say hi to people. And Donald Trump, while walking around the room, just got completely lost and disoriented. He was kind of aimlessly walking around and looked very confused. And this clip is concerning for a number of reasons, but especially since we just learned that Donald Trump got a secret MRI and didn't tell anybody. So look, I want to play this clip for you, show you the White House response, show you an article on this. But before we do any of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the story. Without further ado, let's start with this clip, and you'll see what I mean. Just have a look. Like, are you kidding me? The Japanese prime minister is literally trying to have to guide the president of the United States around the room. Look at her right here. This was initially pointing, telling him, hey, here's where to walk, here's where to go. And then later he just pauses and she's like, hey, can we get a move on? Can you keep moving, Grandpa? Why are you stopping? And he just stood there and didn't realize until she physically touched him to be like, hey, we gotta move. And then eventually he was like, oh, yeah, okay, let's move. And here's another clip from a different angle, closer to the end of their walk around the room. And I think this angle, which was actually being broadcasted by a Republican news network, is even more damning for Donald Trump, because not only is the prime minister guiding him around the room, but also the soldier standing next to them had to guide Donald Trump as well. Now, unfortunately, the clip, this version at least, has some comedic music in the background that I'm sure you folks would recognize. So I can't play it for copyright reasons, but we can just watch the clip and I'll narrate over as to what we're seeing. And so this is kind of near the end. Donald Trump is walking off. He just left her. He just left her. Look at her. She's even the prime minister of Japan is looking at him like, where are you going? He just walked off without her. And she's confused. He's confused. He has no idea what he's doing. This is embarrassing. This is humiliating for the United States. Look, he kind of stops. Wait, why is he stopping? Why is he stopping? And the guard is having to guide him around the room, and the prime minister finally catches up with Trump, and she's still guiding him, saying, "Hey, let's go over to this podium. Let's go over here. You are not meant to stop there." And yet he continued to do so. As I mentioned, the White House flipped out at that video of what happened in Tokyo's Akasaka Palace. So much so that an article has already been written about it. So here it is from the Daily Beast. And I just want to stop for a minute and point out that during Biden's presidency, for 4 years, when he breathed, when he walked, when he stumbled over his words because he has a speech impediment, Republicans claimed there was something wrong with his health. Something. When they selectively edited clips and say, oh, Joe Biden's wandering around, Republicans claimed there was something wrong with his health. But now Donald Trump on the world stage, having to be guided around a room by the prime minister of another country and soldiers of that country, Republicans are silent. Matter of fact, they're defending this as if there's some moment that's being selectively edited here, which you'll see in just a moment, which is crazy. But anyway, the Daily Beast writes, Trump, 79, guided around room by Japan's new prime minister. Japan's prime minister led Donald Trump around a room in Tokyo's Akasaka Palace on Tuesday to view an honor guard and an accompanying band during their first meeting. Sanai Takachi, I looked up her name, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, the country's first female prime minister who took office less than a week ago, stood beside Trump during a presentation by Japan's self-defense force. After it was over, Takachi, 64, stepped down from a platform and began a clockwise tour of the room. Trump followed, and when he stopped, she put out her arm to nudge him to keep moving. When Trump had almost made a lap, he paused briefly in front of his own delegation, and Takachi then held out her hand to guide him back to the platform as we just watched. And for some reason, the White House was touchy about how Donald Trump was portrayed when video of his walk, I should say, around the room garnered attention online. And this is the tweet that they decided to respond to the video. So the original one that we talked about has 1.3 million views at the time of filming this and went insanely viral. Has been up for less than 12 hours. And people in the comments are like, what's he wearing on his leg? People are pointing out other perhaps weird things as part of this video that I haven't done a deep dive in enough. Here's another one, TJ saying, let's get you home, Grandpa. Let's get you to bed. The White House is certainly not happy about this. Patriot Take says, thankfully, someone there is there to lead him around, which, yeah, thankfully. But the White House, as we just saw, was very touchy about this. They said, why didn't you share the full video, dumbass? And it's weird because the full video that they're claiming doesn't make it any better. I mean, we just basically watched what is virtually the whole video. And as you can see, like, we've already seen this part. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. We've seen this part. And then he walks down. And this is pretty much where we just watched on that other clip. See, he keeps walking. She's guiding him. He keeps walking. She's standing there. She is looking as to where this guy is going. He has no idea what's going on. Look at him. I mean, look at this guy. He has no idea what's going on. She's having to catch up with him. He keeps pausing randomly, and then he pauses in front of his own delegation, and she's like, hey, let's move it. This is the clip that the White House responded with and said that we're not accurately portraying Donald Trump. And the Daily Beast touched on, like, hey, this video doesn't make it any better. Their video showed Takachi doing more guiding of Trump, who recently, of course, underwent an MRI. So it wasn't immediately clear what point. Sorry about that. Let's go back to that. Sorry, just clicked on a different article. So it wasn't immediately clear what point the White House was trying to make about how the president came off in the first clip. And so far, the White House has not responded to a request for comment from the Daily Beast. So they're saying the full clip wasn't shown, but when we just watched the full clip, it didn't make it any better. And of course, I do want to point out that Donald Trump just underwent an MRI. The White House has so far not revealed the results of the MRI. They didn't say why Donald Trump got an MRI. They haven't revealed anything about it. So all these questions swirling about Donald Trump's health that have continued to swirl, whether it be, the bruising on his hands, his ankles that are still swollen that we've seen in new photos, it's all very strange. And now he drops out of nowhere that he's had an MRI and he's wandering aimlessly around a room in front of the Japanese prime minister, their leaders, their country, the world stage. Yeah, it's pretty concerning. So look, I just had to bring you this story mainly because I know how much it annoys the Trump White House. So of course I'm going to cover it. And I do genuinely think that Donald Trump looks pretty lost in some of these clips, but look, I digress. I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video. Comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Your support goes an incredibly long way. I greatly appreciate it. Have an amazing rest of your day. We will talk soon.